Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. George Camel, Ramsey personality, co-host of the Smart Money Happy Hour, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Paul is with us in Minneapolis. Hey, Paul, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave, thanks for taking the call. I have another should we pay off the house early out of our retirement question for you.
Okay. Why is this one different?
Well, my wife and I are both retired.
Uh-huh.
I'm 61. She's 58. We retired with the mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a number of differing opinions from our financial guy. I've got friends that work in the finance industry. I worked for a bank in 30 years. And I guess just looking for another opinion, maybe one with a little bit more credence than some of the others, I guess.
Okay. So how much do you own your home?
So it's a $450,000 house. We owe $170,000.
And how much do you have in your nest egg?
We are debt. What's that?
What's your net worth? What do you have in your nest egg?
Net worth is about $1.25 million. We've got just over $1 million of that is investment and retirement.
And if your house was paid off, if your house was paid off, why would you go borrow on it?
We would not.
Then what's the difference?
I guess it's just okay. Let me rephrase the question. Maybe a better question is: if we decide to do this, is it a process over multiple years to ease the tax burden? Do we just bite the bullet and take the hit and do it once, or how would I do it?
I've been doing this 30 years. I've never had anybody call me back and say they were pissed off because they paid off their house.
Fair enough. So one shot, or would you?
I'd write a check today. I'd be debt free. I'd have been debt free yesterday if I were you. And quit listening to all these idiots. Right. There's a lot of idiots out there running around with an opinion about your money, and you're a millionaire.
What's your mortgage payment?
All right, I'll go ahead.
What's your mortgage payment right now?
Mortgage payment is what, $1,200?
Yeah. Okay, you'd free up most of that, which then now you can invest. So yes, you'll lose some out of that investment account, but you're going to still invest for the next 20 years.
Dude, you're just going to sleep so much better tomorrow.
We're both retired, so invest is rolling, not necessarily additional.
You have almost zero risk in this situation because you could write a check at any minute and pay it off if you got in a pinch. You don't really need the money in one way or the other. It's all about, what is your end goal? When you're 85, do you want to have a mortgage? Why would you keep it? There's no reason to keep it. You wouldn't go borrow on a paid-for house in order to have more money to invest. And so write a check and sleep better tomorrow. Tonight, pay it off tonight. Hit the submit button. And then when you go and you get the mortgage release in the mail, make a copy of it, take your shoes off, walk into the backyard, have a mortgage burning party, and tell me that didn't feel good. I mean, there's just no downside to this. You're a million. You're gonna be okay either way if you don't follow our advice. If you follow those idiots' advice. But if I've got a financial person that's telling me to stay in debt, I'm getting a new financial person. Period. Because, George, we studied 10,167 millionaires. The number of them that told us that they became wealthy because they borrowed on their home in order to invest was precisely zero. None of them leveraged their personal residence to build their wealth. None of them. And so the idea that I continue to leverage my personal residence in the name of building wealth is asinine based on the millionaire data.
Well, we're seeing so much more of this because people have their record low mortgage rates they don't want to let go of, Dave. So why would I pay off my mortgage?
But I got your mortgage rate beat. You know what my mortgage rate is? 0. I don't have one. Hello.
Heck of a rate.
0. I got the best rate. Come on, man.
So when rates go up and down, you don't have to worry about them because you don't need debt anymore. That's a great feeling. Instead of worrying about what the market's doing. So, yes, it hurts to write that check and lose that much money, lose, quote unquote, but you never really had it if you owed it to the lender in the first place.
Yeah, Paul, pay it off, son. Pay it off. There's a bunch of intangibles that you're not even considering in this decision. You're still acting like it's primitive math, or at least the idiots advising you are. So you're going to sleep different. Your wife's going to look at you like a hero. Never once have we had a wife said, my husband borrowed deeply on our mortgage and he's my hero. Never came up.
I love the Kermit vibes she had too there. That's great. Kind of a Miss Piggy meets Kermit.
Well, it's the best I can
hero.
do. It's the best I can do. Anna is with us. Is it Anna or Anna? It's Anna, I'm sure. And she's in Grand Rapids. Is it Anna? Is that right?
Yes, it's Anna.
Hey, how can I help?
So I recently paid off all of my student loans and am debt-free.
Yay! Way to go!
Thank you. Yeah. So I couldn't have done it without you. So, but I have my 6 months of expenses. I just finished that up, and I'm wondering now if I should be investing my 15% or if I should be saving for a wedding that my boyfriend and I are planning to have in about a year and a half. So I'm wondering if I'm saving for that.
Wedding.
Yeah? Okay. Perfect.
Are you guys paying for this on your own?
We think so. We don't really want we just want to plan for that, and that if something comes, then we'll go for it. But yeah, we kind of just want to plan on doing it ourselves just in case. Okay,
I would set a very specific goal, a number you're trying to hit to save, and I would try to hit that before the year and a half is over, and then begin investing. You got that money set aside. You know you're not going to have to go into debt for this wedding. That is the goal here. And so that's why we're telling you save for the wedding first, because what happens is you start investing 15%. The wedding was over budget. Now we got to put it on a credit card.
For sure, yeah.
So what do you think you're going to spend?
We're thinking maybe we're thinking between 20 and 30, depending on what rates are, but probably 25 is the goal we set.
Okay. Well, if you, yes, that by the way, that's about an average wedding in America right now. So you're not above average, you're not below average, you're right around there. It's $28,000 last year. So the thing is, having 3 grown kids that all got married, and I was involved in the budget because I was paying for it, or at least part of it anyway, all of it, but anyway, my part, the bride's part, and then my son, we participate some. So have a detailed budget, not a general goal. Lay it out. Okay, this is how much we're going to spend on the photographer, this is how much we get on the dress, this is how much we spend on the reception, and treat it, I'm sorry, but treat it like a project. You're managing a project. You are. So you have a timeline, you have a budget, and you stick to it. What must be true? Well, we can't have that. We got to have this instead. If you don't have a very specific thing, then you'll get into a mess there. But that sounds reasonable. I would say for the wedding first.
Hey folks, Dr. John Deloney here with some great news. You get to choose. Whatever you do, good or bad moving forward, the choice is yours. And when you're intentional about making good choices over time, they become healthy habits, like choosing to slow down and make time for a daily practice of prayer and meditation. One thing that has helped me with the daily practice of meditation and prayer is Hallow. Hallow is the #1 prayer app in the world, and they're giving you 3 months free to get started. That's 3 months free to prioritize your mental health and be intentional about finding peace through calming music, prayers, meditation, and more. And Hallow isn't just Catholic. You can tailor the content towards your faith tradition. If you don't have a faith tradition, this is a great place to learn more about it. From scripture readings and prayers to journaling, Hallow makes it easy to practice mindfulness, build a deeper, more meaningful spiritual life, and choose peace. Remember, Hallow is giving you 90 days free. Imagine the peaceful habits you can establish in 90 days. Go to hallow.com/Ramsey today and follow the simple prompts to start your free 90-day trial. That's hallow.com/Ramsey.
George Camel Ramsey Personality is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. George Camel will be doing a live virtual training this month to help you get clarity with your money. Sometimes those are called webinars, I think. So you're going to learn more about margin in your finances, spend guilt-free, make a budget for you that works. The next one's happening September 26th at 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Central. So it's a lunch deal, George.
That's right. And I'm taking my lunch break to do this. So I would appreciate all of you joining me. We're going to actually walk through very tactically what it looks like to create margin in your every dollar budget. We'll show you how to set it up, how the paycheck planning tool works, what to do, what sacrifices to make to spend less, make more, to get out of that stressful money cycle.
Free.
Totally
so to
free.
sign up, go to everydollar.com/budgeting. And September 26th would be like this week.
That's coming up.
That's like tomorrow for most of you, yeah. So,
and you can also get the replay. A lot of people say, Dave, I can't make it on my lunch break. Sign up anyways. We'll send you a link to watch the replay. Still worth signing up.
Everydollar.com/budgeting, free webinar, free virtual training. I like virtual training.
Yeah,
better than
webinar doesn't. I'm way more exciting than a webinar.
Sounds very geeky.
You deserve better than a webinar.
Virtual training sounds very high tech.
I like that.
I like it, George. It works, man.
One day we'll all be AI anyways, so you'll still get the live version of me today before the robots take over.
Not me.
You don't think AI could replace you, Dave?
It already has. Have you not seen it? Have you not seen that stuff?
No.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Oh, the deep fake. They can deep fake your voice.
Hilarious. It's hilarious. Yeah, there's actually one guy that's running a scam.
I've seen that on social media.
On social media, yeah.
They're going to get what's coming to them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mess with Dave Ramsey. I'm just saying.
Well, we just had the lawyer call him and explain it to him, but but they knew that. They knew they were scam guys. So but it's like me giving advice and then they change the voice.
Poorly done audio voiceover.
It's not even AI, I don't think. I think it's just a bad voiceover.
A bad impression? That's even more offensive. You'd almost rather have a robot screwed up than a real person go, I'm Dave Ramsey.
Yeah. Is that what it would sound like?
Kind of. I do a terrible version of you.
That was really bad.
I know. I don't have that southern drawl.
All right. Pam's in Los Angeles. Hey, Pam, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I am a 66-year-old widow in good health. The only retirement I have is property, a home, and land that I own in Nolensville, Tennessee. It's fully paid for. I generate about $19,000 a year rental income. There's about $2,000 in property taxes every year. Mm-hmm. I've got people. My other income is my Social Security, which is $1,800, and then I rent out 2 rooms in the house that I'm in California for $1,100 a month. That together brings my income to about $54,000. Mm-hmm. If I sell the property, I'll lose that $20,000. I've got people telling me to sell and invest, sell and put it in CDs, don't sell. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what's the best thing to do with it.
What's it worth?
Probably it was worth more before the laws changed, but it's worth, say, $600,000 to $700,000.
Okay.
And the only other thing that makes it a little tricky, my son and wife are looking to relocate either to Huntsville or Nashville in the next 3 to 5 years.
Not tricky at all. Unless it's a family, is it a family place or something? Is it a family home place or?
It was never a family home. My husband and I bought it and only lived there a few months before we were transferred to California.
Okay. Do you have a property management company running it?
Okay, so you're making 2.8% on your money.
Okay, she doesn't charge that much, but okay.
You're making $19,000 on $600,000.
Right.
That's 2.8%.
Okay.
Certifiably horrible.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, I think whoever told you to sell it, and sit down with a quality investment advisor. If you don't have one, click SmartVestor at RamseySolutions.com. We'll help you find who we endorse in your area to sit down and teach you what you could put some of this money in. But if you made 5% on your money, basically you would double your money. If you made 10% on your money, you would quadruple your money. And somewhere between 5 and 10 is what you should be making, depending on how much of, what you want to put it in mutual funds. So I'm almost, I'm 63. In my situation, meaning that what I'm comfortable with, I would put, in my case, 100% of that in mutual funds. And my mutual funds have averaged 10 to 15% depending on the year. Okay? And so I would be making close to $100,000 a year where you're making 19. But now those mutual funds go up and down in value more than that property does, but whoop-de-doop-de, you're not making anything. So it must be raw land, is it?
No, well, it's 5 acres of raw land and then a single-family house on it.
Yeah, it's under-rented severely.
It's a smaller house.
It's under-rented severely, based on its value. But even then, you don't want a rental property in Nolensville, Tennessee when you live in Los Angeles. So I'm going to sell that and put it in mutual funds, a good mix of which you could determine after you learn a little bit more about it. But sit down with a good investment advisor at a smart investor if you don't have one. They'll help you do it. They'll show you what to do, but teach you what you're doing, and then you can make that decision. You may have some taxes on this as well when you sell it. You need to set that aside. But you will have some taxes, but depending on how long you've had it. It sounds like you've had it a long time, so you may have substantial capital gains, but still you're going to come out ahead. Yeah, you're pinching every penny because you're only making 2% on your money.
Yeah, and a lot of people, Dave, are fooling with real estate. And then we ask them, hey, what are you making on this thing? Well, $500 a month, $1,000 a month. I'm like, $10,000 a year? That's not life-changing money comparatively to if you just didn't fool with the real estate and invested it.
Yeah.
And you could make returns that are much greater than that.
Yeah.
So that's what we're talking about here.
If you're going to go through the hassle of real estate, I love real estate, but you should make more on it than the stock market's paying. So if the stock market's averaging 10 to 12%, you ought to make more than that on your real estate, all things included. I mean, including the value increases and other things. But if you're going to screw around with renters and deal with, air conditioners breaking and all that stuff, then, you would want to make more for the hassle factor than you would make just putting in a mutual fund and forget it. So,
especially long distance. That's always a nerve-wracking situation when you're across the country.
There's nothing in this property for you, Pam, that sounds fun to me. Sounds like a good thing to be out of. Christina is in Seattle. Christina, what's up?
Hi, thank you guys so much for taking my call and everything you guys do.
You too. How can we help?
I'm calling in. My husband and I are in baby step 2, and we're down to our final debt, which is $132,000 of student loans. With repayment coming back online, I've looked into some options to lower my higher interest rate loans down, and I'm not sure if it's worth it to do the refinancing.
Okay. You get one shot if they're federal. Is it a lower interest rate?
It is. So out of my $132,000, $100,000 of those are at 6 to 7.5% on a 15-year term loan, and I can refinance down to 5.5 on a 10-year loan. Is the best option, the lowest option I found.
Yeah, sure. And then pay it off in 3 or 2 or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, 3. 3 is the plan that we're on right now.
Okay.
3 years to pay everything off.
Yeah, a lower interest rate helps. So 1% is $1,000 a year on $100,000, right?
Okay.
That's what saves you. So $1,000 doesn't solve the problem. You being pissed off and getting out of debt solves the problem, but it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
I'll take 1,000 of the good instead of 1,000 of the bad.
Okay. The only place where we were kind of concerned is that it raises the minimum payment up significantly. And
you're raising the minimum payment anyway. You're getting out of debt in 3 years.
Yeah, paying extra on it's going to do that.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Whoop-de. Yeah. We're not keeping this thing around like it's a pet. We're getting rid of it. This is the Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, being free to make your own medical decisions is a big deal these days. Christian Healthcare Ministries gives members the freedom to choose the doctors and providers they want without the frustration of worrying about networks and with no waiting period to join. It's a membership-based nonprofit ministry where hundreds of thousands of Christians share funds to pay for and pray for each other's medical bills. For over 40 years, CHM has helped families living across all 50 states. So see if CHM could be right for your family. Check out more today at chministries.org/budget.
George Camel Ramsey Personality is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Scott and Jenna are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Doing well,
Hi, Dave.
thank you.
Hey, George.
Welcome. Good to have you guys. Where do you live?
Davenport, Florida, just south of Orlando.
Oh, yeah, fun. Welcome to Nashville. And how much debt have you paid?
$94,000,
Cool. How long did that take?
33 months,
Okay. And your range of income during that time?
76 to 145.
Okay. Very cool. Good. Very good. So what kind of debt was the 94?
It was our mortgage.
Yay! Love it, love it. Congratulations. House and everything. Look at it, weird people.
That's right.
So what's this house worth?
About 350.
I love it. And how much in your nest egg in your retirement?
About 95,000.
Excellent. Well done, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. Already half a millionaires. Look at you. How old are you?
36.
33.
Wow, well done, you guys. Good work.
It's incredible.
Work. So what started this journey 33 months ago? Pay off the house and be weird.
I know. It kind of starts a little bit farther back. Really, when we first bought the house, we were pretty normal. We got the 30-year mortgage, and we knew about the Dave Ramsey principles and the baby steps, but we applied them here and there, kind of Dave-ish, and we held on to the credit card and didn't really make much progress on the mortgage for the first several years, as could be expected. And fast forward to 2020, we started tuning in to the Ramsey Show on podcast, and listening to the debt-free screams really got us fired up to pay off our mortgage. And so we submitted to refinance and get a lower interest rate and start paying things off. Then we hit a bump in the road. COVID hit. We both got furloughed.
Oh.
So that delayed things a little bit. But August of 2020, just several months later, the refinance went through and we were back in our jobs. And so that was kind of our kickoff moment. What really got things up to speed was in January 2021, just a few months later. I got a new job as a result of an MBA that I just finished. And we started coordinating Financial Peace University at church.
Ah.
And our class challenged us to really walk the walk. And so
Wow, they challenged the
kind of
coordinator.
Call
credit
out
card.
the coordinator.
I know.
I love
So
it.
we downloaded every dollar and got our budget nice and organized and focused. And from then on, we were just laser focused on the mortgage. We had a couple promotions over the next couple of years that increased the income. So we increased our giving, but the rest we maintained our lifestyle. So we had that margin to just keep catapulting on the mortgage.
That's incredible. I love this. The unexpected blessing of coordinating an FBU class is that it puts your butt into gear. Because like, I can't lead this class and not be doing a budget and not be trying to hit my financial goals.
Exactly.
Definitely.
And you guys did that without the lifestyle creep, even increasing your income.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just as motivating to be coordinating the class and to hear from those who are taking the class as participating as just, someone that signed up for it.
Yeah, way to go, you guys. Excellent, excellent, excellent work. So proud of y'all. Well
Thank
done.
you.
How's it feel to not have a payment in the world?
So good.
Wow.
Amazing.
What's the first big thing to do to celebrate?
So we actually just did it a few months ago. The same month that we submitted our final payment, we went on a 2-week vacation to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Celebrated
There
our
we go.
10-year anniversary as well.
There you go. Good for you. Well done, guys. Well done.
Thank you.
Now, you got all the rest of your life to do nothing but be generous and build wealth.
Exactly.
You're going to be in a great position. Absolutely amazing. All right. Tell folks what the key, because you're coordinators now. I mean, your coordinator's like a boss now, right? So your coordinators, what is the key to getting out of debt? House and everything when you're 36 years old.
without a doubt, the budget for us transitioning from the Excel spreadsheet to the Every Dollar budgeting app made a huge difference for us, just to be able to see every transaction come in.
This is an unpaid commercial, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, that's great.
But to see every transaction come in and be able to update it in live time was really helpful. But then being on the same page with our long-term goals, because for us, we want to be able to meet needs as we see them come in. And so not having that house payment, not owing anybody, really frees up that income to do that. But also, I think just being content with where you are and what you have, not trying to keep up with the Joneses as you go, having that delayed gratification. And then really just like not underestimating the small sacrifices and the difference that those can make too, because it really helps you to build that muscle of discipline as you look at the bigger decisions that you have to make. And recently we heard it put that there's no comfort in the growth zone and no growth in the comfort zone.
Ooh.
So.
That's good.
Ding, ding. Right
Dave's going to steal that quote if you don't accredit it somewhere.
Definitely. I like that. That'll show up somewhere.
Yeah, definitely.
No growth in the comfort zone, no comfort in the growth zone. Yeah, that's true. That's really where it happens. That's amazing. Well done, you guys. Very, very well done.
This is exciting. What I love about this, what I'm realizing is those in baby step 7 who pay off their house, there's this natural letting go of caring what other people think. But it's weird that when you're broke is when you're trying to keep up. And when you have all these payments up to your eyeballs, and you let go of it and pay it all off, and you go, why are we doing that? We got bigger goals in life.
Why was I worried about that guy?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Which guy? Yeah, that.
Now you're worried about who can we give to this month instead of who do we got to impress this month. That's a very different life.
Exactly.
I'm so proud of you guys to figure it out that early.
Yeah,
it takes people their whole lifetime to get that.
Absolutely. Very well done. Hey, we've got the Live and Give box for you. That's the Baby Steps Millionaires book. That's the next step in your journey for sure. And the Total Money Makeover book giveaway gets somebody started. And since you're coordinating a class, we'll give you another Financial Peace University membership.
Awesome.
You'll find someone to give that to, I'm sure, that needs it.
Absolutely.
And they'll be able to encourage them on their journey. Thanks for leading the class. We really appreciate it.
We really enjoy it.
It makes a lot of difference to have the class operating like you guys, especially when somebody's plugged in like you guys are, and thanks for the advertisement for the Every Dollar app. That's good. Very, very good. Good stuff. Well done. Scott and Jenna, Lakeland, Florida area. $94,000 paid off. House and everything at 36 years old, making 33, or did that in 33 months, making 76 to 145. Count it down. Let's hear it. Debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt free!
Yeah! Yep. All right. Way to go, you guys. That is so fun. Very good. So proud of y'all. Good stuff, man. So you're going to be doing an Every Dollar virtual training or webinar, whatever we want to call it.
Webinar feels like Excel. At least the virtual training feels a little hipper, like Every Dollar.
Yeah, it's not complicated. If virtual training makes it sound hard, George will not make it too hard to do, I promise.
I'm not that smart.
He's going to teach you to do exactly what they're doing. Find margin. That's a word they use.
Yeah.
In your budget by using the Every Dollar app. And that's a free budgeting seminar, webinar, whatever we're going to call the thing. And it's tomorrow for most of you listening live. That would be the 26th of September. And you get that at everydollar.com/budgeting.
It's that simple.
And you're going to be doing it. You're going to be teaching them the same stuff that they learned.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I was like you guys. I thought budgeting was for Excel nerds and accountants. And I just realized, the point of the budget is to find margin to spend less, make more, and hit my financial goals, not so that I can be a super nerd and check a box off. And I'm telling you, opening Excel ruins my day to this day. So if you were that person who has never budgeted because you thought it was going to hurt your brain, I'm going to make it so mind-numbingly simple that you have no excuse not to do it. You're going to go, I want that. I'm going to show you how to go from negative $1,000 a month to positive 1,000 to positive 2,000 to where you go, there's nothing I can't do now with that kind of margin.
And that's what they did. That's how they got the house.
That's how you pay off the house early, folks. It's that simple. There's no life hack.
$94,000 in 33 months. Yeah, wow. That's it. And you got a paid-for stinking house at 36 years old. And you and Whitney got a paid-for house in your early 30s. Right?
We started the trend, I guess. But I love seeing folks in their 20s and 30s doing their baby step 7 debt-free screams.
Yeah,
it's mind-boggling.
And this is the week before the student loans start back. So,
It feels like Jaws is starting to circle, and you hear that dun 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 dun. It's coming, people. Make a plan.
Do you even know what that is?
I
you
saw
just referenced a movie that was before you were born.
I was trying to connect with you.
Oh, you're trying to... Thank you.
It's called pandering.
Yes.
I think.
It's not working.
Dang it.
But...
Hey, you made a Will Smith reference today, and I was very proud of you.
I'm full of surprises. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Visit Blinds.com to get up to 45% off. That's Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Our question of the day is brought to you by Neighborly, your hub for home services. They have local service providers to repair, maintain, and improve your home. Their network of experts offers top quality work and customer service by trained, reliable service providers. Find the help you need. Good company, good people at neighborly.com.
Today's question comes from Andrew in Minnesota. What are your thoughts on balance transfer credit cards? I have 3 credit card debts I'm paying off in baby step 2, and the interest rates are really high. Would it be wise to transfer it to a 0% interest rate card while I am paying them off? The life hack of the balance transfer to the 0% card. How many have built their wealth, Dave? No, I'm not a fan of these balance transfer cards, and one of many reasons is that it doesn't solve the root problem, you going into debt. Another reason is the 3 to 5% they charge you just to do this, which means if you transfer 10 grand, you're paying an extra $500 for the pleasure of continuing to be in debt with this 0% offer that will soon run out while you're still in debt. Well, and then we're back to square one.
So while I'm paying off debt can mean a lot of things. While I'm paying off debt over 10 or 15 years, which means you're not really paying off debt, or while I'm paying off debt for 1 year because I'm gazelle intense and sold everything but the kids, and they're worried. You know, I mean, that's 2 different things of while I'm paying off debt. So while I'm paying off debt over 10 years, which means I'm not really doing it, then I'm going to be with George. Don't bother, because you're just kidding yourself that you actually did something. Interest rates aren't your problem. The guy in your mirror is your problem. You need to quit spending like you're freaking in Congress. If you're instead doing the other way, and you're like gazelle intense, you're paying it off in 1 year, then what you're saving is 18% of your balance, or 26% of your balance, minus whatever transfer fees there are. And so you would save some money. But let's just kind of talk this through for a second. Let's say net of fees transferred, that you saved, I'll make up a number. Let's say it was a 20% and a 5% fee, so net of 15. You save 15%. Okay, if you save 15% for 1 year on $20,000 while you're paying it off, well, you're not really saving it on $20,000 because during that year you will have reduced it within 6 months down to $10,000. So your average is not $20,000. Your average is about $10,000 that you're saving the interest on. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Mm-hmm.
Okay, just doing math nerd here. Okay, so 15% of $10,000 savings is $1,500 on a $20,000 balance. So is it worth it to save $1,500 on a $20,000 balance in 1 year? Yes. But to George's point, does it solve your problem? No. You have a $20,000 problem. You don't hit it with a $1,500 tool. You hit it with a $20,000 tool, which is you. You be working you butt off. That's the tool.
Yeah.
Okay. And you be living on beans and rice and beans. And don't talk to me about you deserve to go out to eat. You would be a broke person in credit card debt. You don't get to go out to eat. Broke people don't do that crap.
That's the other piece is you have to actually change your habits. You can't just go, well, I switched to the 0%. We're good now. I can keep living my life how I was living.
And the problem is, what I'm trying to point out is the problem is when you make this massive intellectual calorie burning move, right, to make this transfer, and I'm beating them up.
So genius.
I've got the $1 billion credit card industry on its back, punching it in the nose. No, you don't. Okay? They are punching you in the nose. This is why we're having this discussion. So you're not going to whip their butt. They're the 800-pound gorilla. You might take a little chunk out, a $1,500 chunk out, but don't think that that solves the problem. It's okay to do it as long as you know that 95% of the problem still stands there and 95% of the solution still stands there, and that be you, to your point.
Yeah.
So do the transfer if you want, but don't strut around acting like you did something.
And don't get comfortable, because now with 0%, you're going, well, it's fine. It's not accruing interest.
And don't act like you can do this ad infinitum, because that's what they're praying for, that they can keep haggling you, hassling you, and punching you in the face. And it's time for you to just say, you know what? I don't like the rules of this game. I refuse to play anymore. I'm taking my toys and going home. You know, I'm getting away from you people. I'm going to put up a boundary. This is a toxic relationship.
Absolutely.
So,
well, it reminds me, Dave, we uploaded this YouTube video on my channel and reacting to this woman who said, hey, velocity banking hack. I paid off my mortgage years early by maxing out my credit cards and writing a check to myself and then switching to the 0% cards one after another. And all of you should do this hack to pay off your mortgage early. It's genius. And so I broke it down on why velocity banking is a scam, but it reminded me of this conversation about these balance transfers.
So they renamed stupidity velocity?
You have to give it a cool name to keep it hip. Because then, infinite banking, you've talked about that.
I thought velocity meant speed.
That's the idea.
I didn't know it meant stupidity.
Yes. But stupidity banking, no one's going to do that.
Oh, they wouldn't sign up for that?
No.
Oh, so we had to give it a different name.
Infinite banking, velocity banking.
Oh, it's stupid fast. Do stupid quickly.
Fast.
Quickly fast. Do stupid quickly.
Oh, You know how to sell things, Dave. You know how that works. Goodness gracious.
Like we need a new marketing narrative, boys and girls, yeah.
It's just exhausting.
Hey, so here's the thing.
Jump through.
Interest rates in almost thing to remember, the reason debt consolidation doesn't work in general is that 88% of the people that take out a debt consolidation loan end up going deeper in debt because they don't change the person in their mirror. Mm-hmm. The problem with this whole thing is it's a pain in the butt because changing me changing me is a pain in the butt. I don't like changing me. I like the old me. I don't want to have to go through the pain of growth. I don't like it. I don't like the discomfort of transformation. And yet that's what makes a better version of me. And so changing me is the hook, not changing the technique or the hack. So change if you want to shift your balances, that's fine. But you still have 95% of the problem. You've only addressed 5% of the problem. So don't strut around the yard, throwing your shoulders back, acting like you be bad, because you're not. You haven't done anything yet. You just moved it around. The shell still has a P under it. It's just a matter of which one, the con game on the street. Mm-hmm. And you're just playing the game. You're getting suckered again. So it's there somewhere. You can count on it until you get rid of the toxic relationship completely by paying the stinking thing completely off. It's a big deal. So that's the difference in See, I grew up in the financial world in the academic side of things, getting all the licenses and selling all this crap. And we are always taught that the problem is a math problem. And it's just not. When it comes to your personal finance, it's 80% behavior, 20% head knowledge.
It's in the psych department.
Yeah, wrong department. It's not a math issue. It's a behavior. If it's a behavior problem, then the solution is a behavior modification solution.
Yeah, people think, well, the problem, Dave, is the 24% interest. If I could solve that. No, the problem is the guy who got themselves into 24% interest debt. And if we can solve for that, we've solved for a whole lot more than just this one little dinky debt.
Oh, and let me tell you, when you fall for stuff like velocity, stupidity banking, when you're desperate or when you're greedy, if you want to con someone, you need to find people. I read a great book by a con man one time. He said, if you want to con someone, find people that are afraid or that are greedy. And if you think that you're the exception to the rule and you've got the hack and no one knows about it but you, after all this time, God selected you to give him this word. You've got to be kidding me. That's so greedy and stupid and pride comes right before the fall.
You just
Absolutely
described
not.
most of the cryptocurrency community and now the NFT community.
They're really quiet now.
Yeah.
They're not making much noise.
Piped down.
Where are all you people that said George and I were frauds?
Why they made their millions, now they're on the beaches, Dave, apparently. They're not tweeting anymore.
That sounds like velocity banking to me.
No, they're probably back at work, working their normal jobs.
That's Velociraptor banking right there.
Ooh.
There you go. That's a whole new banking here.
I'm signing up for that one.
Chomp, chomp.
I know what happened to the dinosaurs. I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole.
I'd take 12, but there you go. This is the Ramsey Show.
Hey, George Camel here. If you love the show and you want a deeper dive on your money journey, we've got a weekly newsletter that gives you helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for the newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. George Camel, Ramsey personality, host of the Smart Money Happy Hour, co-host of it anyway, is my co-host, and he is also the host of the very popular new launch on YouTube, the George Camel YouTube Show. And that's Camel with a K. You don't want to miss that. Lots of snark there. I'm a big fan because I'm a big fan of snark. That's one of the reasons I'm a big George fan. Phone number here is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Jennifer is with us in Austin, Texas. Hi, Jennifer. How are you?
Good.
Good. How can we help?
I wanted to find out. I have been looking for a house for about 9 years, and I found one, but it's kind of a flipper, and it's about $2 million. So I didn't know if it would be wise in our situation.
Okay, let's just back up. Looking for a house for 9 years is weird. Let's start with that.
Okay. We would love to build, but here in Texas, they do not license contractors, so it's like almost impossible to manage a project here. So I kind of have to just remodel something and hope that it's, we've got pretty good bones and the property's good. So we bought
why does it take 9 years to discover you need a general contractor to build a house?
No. Well, I do not want to build a house here because okay. I'm in that industry, but I don't want to have to manage a project. And their contractors here they're not licensed, so it's really hard to.
They don't license general contractors in Texas?
No, Google it. It's insane.
Really?
I don't really work in Texas. No, it's kind of like the wild, wild west of construction. I don't even go into tall buildings here. If they're more than 2 floors, I won't go in them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's not general contractor licensing. That's engineering, and that's also weird. Okay. Okay. So you want to buy a house for $2 million that you have to fix up, and then you're going to flip it.
But
then
I
you're going to
really
flip
love
it.
the land. No, I'm just saying
It's not a flipper then. If you're not going to flip it, it's just you're buying a house that needs a lot of work.
Yeah, it looks like flipper conditions.
Yikes! Why do you want to buy this property then? Do you have the money?
The property is beautiful. Well, that's what I want to talk to you about. I'm not sure, because the way we've always purchased houses and before would be completely different than this purchase. We've always saved enough cash where we just did the tip, so we wouldn't do a jumbo loan. We'd do whatever the maximum was. Like our first house was like $417. I think now it's up to like $500 and something for like before you go to a jumbo loan. And then we put cash down and then do a 15-year mortgage and do 20% down. And that's the way we've always bought our houses. But this one, just because I don't think we have enough, I think the payment would be too high because the interest rates are so high right now that I think we would have to do like a 20 or 30-year mortgage.
Oh, so what you're saying is you just can't afford the house.
Well,
it's okay to say that out loud, Jennifer.
Yeah,
it's a $2 million house.
I know. Yeah.
What is your income? What's the household income?
Together, our base salaries is about $520.
Okay.
And the thing is, the reason we don't have a lot of money saved is because normally we don't work both at the same time. But just since I've been working a lot more the last few years, I've enjoyed it. So now I'm working all the time.
What do you
do? He's working. I do global architecture. So architecture and interior design, not really. I do work for an IT company, but it's construction engineering. So I do, but I work for an IT company building their facilities all over the U.S.
Okay.
Or the globe.
So your household income is $525,000, and why can't you put a $2 million house on a 15-year?
Because we've really been living not beyond our means. We live within our means, but like we spent a lot of our savings. Like my husband took 2 years off during COVID, and we remodeled our house, and we just I bought a house for my daughter. We just like spent a lot of money, and we normally have more savings.
I'm exhausted.
And we don't have. What was that?
I said I'm tired. This is y'all.
You've been running a million miles an hour with nothing to show for it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we've never really had this much income steadily. We've had it for the last few years.
Okay, if you've had it for 2 years or more, you can qualify for a 15-year mortgage, and you can afford a 15-year mortgage.
I think we could. No, I know that we could qualify for a 15-year mortgage.
Then you
can
can afford it.
For that. No. Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to say that. I just don't want our house payment to be that high because I know my husband will be against that. So that's why I want to do like a 30 until the 20 or a 30 until the interest rates are lower.
No, you take out a 15, and when the interest rates are lower, you refinance. And if you're not willing to admit that you're buying a $2 million house to your husband, you shouldn't buy a $2 million house. So I can't make this not be $2 million. There's not a technique for that. It's $2 million. And I got a feeling your husband doesn't want to do a $2 million fixer-upper either. So I think there's probably more going on, and you've kind of gotten this romantic idea that this land is beautiful and it makes this whole project worthwhile. I don't know. If you guys together want to sit down and look at the trouble and the pain that doing a remodel is going to be that you're going to live in, which is way different than doing one that you're not going to live in. That's a lot of pain. It's a lot of heartache. It's like building a house except worse. Remodels are just horrid. And I've done a bunch of them. And they're just, even when you're not going to live in them, they're a pain in the butt. It's easier to push it down, start again. And then emotionally easier for sure. If you guys want to endure the pain of that, you have the financial wherewithal to do it, and you're willing to accept the reality of the payment that a $2 million loan takes on, both of you, you and your husband, then go forward. But I got a feeling that there's in those guidelines I just gave you that you all are going to run into all kinds of trouble, and you're wanting somebody to tell you can't afford it. I think you can afford it. I just don't think you want to afford it. That's what I heard. What'd you hear?
Well, I'm hearing a lot of stress, and I don't know that this $2 million mortgage is going to alleviate any of that. And so they need to simplify their life, get their act together, figure out how to control the money that they're bringing in. But I would pause on this decision. It does not sound like they're close to alignment.
Just all over the place, like
And there's also,
involved.
I don't know, $1 million houses in Austin that are great. So maybe we could start there. It doesn't have to be the $2 million or bust.
Yeah.
So I think we have to back out and find out what all of the options are before we get starry-eyed at one.
Yeah. And I'll just go ahead and throw in here too, just to be straight with you, Jennifer. The idea that everyone in Texas that lives in a home or has a 3-story building is incompetent and all of them are about to fall in because they don't license GCs is absurd. Okay? Obviously, there's quality buildings in Texas that are not going to fall in. And obviously, I did not know they didn't license GCs, but that doesn't change anything for me. I've been in a bunch of houses in Texas that are wonderful properties, and
you're so brave.
Yeah, I'm brave.
You went to the 3rd floor and everything.
I did. I've been to the 16th floor. I mean, it's scary. Not in a house, but I mean, golly, come on, girl. Seriously, this is the Ramsey Show. Hey folks, you know that sinking feeling when you make an offer on a house you love and then you hear there's another offer? You need the Churchill Mortgage Home Buyer Edge. Super fast pre-approval and a secured interest rate. Plus a $5,000 seller guarantee gives your offer the best chance of being accepted. The Home Buyer Edge from Churchill gives you an advantage over those other guys. Go to churchillmortgage.com today to learn more. George Camel Ramsey personality is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. Open phone, so 888-825-5225. One of the things that we have to do when we're managing our money is we're managing our life. And we're making big decisions and lots of decisions. And when you find yourself making... Here's some things that'll tell you if you're making a wrong decision, okay? Because making a wrong decision around money, particularly like a car purchase or a house purchase, or some other big investment, deciding to go into crypto, deciding to do something stupid along, getting out of where you're getting ready to set yourself back a decade by screwing up. By making a bad decision. See, we always talk about wealth building and the things to do to build wealth. I don't think we spend enough time probably on how to stupid-proof ourselves so we don't do something stupid and offset all the good work we did, right? So one of the things I discovered about me, and it turns out it's true of everyone, is that right after I get desperate, I get stupid. And right after I get stupid, I get broke. You know what I'm saying?
There's a close connection.
When you feel desperation, trapped, and your language will tell you that you're that way. I was forced to.
We had no choice.
Buy a car. Never in the history of human race has that been true. You were not forced. They did not have a gun. They don't do reverse carjackings. It doesn't happen, right? So it doesn't happen. So you weren't forced. You were in a desperate situation on transportation, and so you justified a dumb butt decision to go to the tote the note lot and pay double for the car at a 28% interest rate and then say, but I was forced. You weren't forced. You were just stupid. I've been stupid too. Right? I just explained it right after I felt desperate and trapped. Okay? And so listen to your language, and if your language is indicating a sense of being trapped, a sense that there is no other options, and your language to yourself in this decision making, or to your spouse who you're trying to talk into this, is bizarre, then that tells you that you're getting ready to screw up. Okay? I'll give you another example we run into, George. Every property for rent in X town is $4,000 a month. Make up a number, fill it in. You can't find them. They don't exist. See, these absolute hyperbole statements are indications that you feel desperate and stuck. And so once you've decided inaccurately that every property for rent is $4,000 minimum in this town, then you can justify buying something you shouldn't be buying at a point in your finances that you weren't ready to buy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you start making these fatalistic, absolute statements that are overstated, then and when you if it sounds bizarre to you, then that tells you you're there. And that was my question with I couldn't get it out of my mouth fast enough in that last call, because we've been looking for a property in Texas for 9 years. Okay, that's just weird. No, you haven't. Or if you have, you've got other issues other than property looking.
It takes you a decade.
That it takes a decade in Texas to find something to live in. That's just not true. That smacks of weirdness and desperation, and you're getting ready to make a mistake. But what that leads to then is I'm going to do a deal here that I know I shouldn't be doing, because for 9 years, this is the only property. See the you know how that comes out? And I do that in my own head. That's how I recognize the drama queen. It lives in all of our heads.
Yep.
And it's like, I'm so stuck. Rental prices are so high, I am forced to buy a house I can't afford, while I have $600,000 in student loan debt. Well, that's just dumber than crap. No, it's just not true. Okay? Not true. And so, the other one I love is our house has mold. Our children will die if we stay here. And the only property we can find to live in is 60% of our take-home pay. These are our two options: death of our children or bankruptcy. These are our
Bad
two options, because we forced ourselves in desperation into this false narrative of fatalism that I'm stuck and the only way out is to go from one stupid, horrible thing to another stupid, horrible thing, and I'm trying to justify it by saying it's the only option. You see what I'm doing?
Oh, yeah.
And every time I do that in my head, I have lost so much money. Every time. That fear-based desperation leads you into that. And I get these are the actual calls I get here we've gotten on the air. You've heard them before.
I'm getting triggered, Dave. My PTSD is coming back from the caller saying, well, there's no used cars under $25,000, so we had to finance one for $35. Because what else are you going to do?
Yeah. You're just stuck. I mean, because there's not a used car anywhere. All the used cars in America are now $25,000. So when you start making these over-the-top, crazy-butt statements, what that states is not the actual fact. What it indicates is your mindset is in desperation and stuck. Fatalism.
And there's a whiny toddler inside all of us going, we just want the new car. Just admit it. You want the shinier, newer car.
Well, yeah, but admitting it would be dealing with me, and I don't want to deal with me. Instead, I would rather create this false narrative of the marketplace is forcing me into doing
It's the economy.
These high interest rates. It's just ridiculous. I mean, it's forced me. The only way I could go to school was to go $400,000 in student loan debt. It's the only way. It was the only possible, other than joining the military, but only possible, other than to say, other than, oh my God. But the only possible, so now here I sit, and Biden won't forgive them, and so I'm screwed. And now Sunday you have to start paying payments again. Not someday, Sunday, this coming Sunday. So, but yeah. But every time you say something with a bizarre set of overstatement, that is indicating you're getting ready to make a mistake, because I've done this. I'm not making fun of y'all if you've done it. I'm not even making fun of our last caller. I mean, it was a little bit hard to keep up, but I mean, but even aside from that, she just was stuck in, I want this, and so I don't think I should be doing it. It feels wrong, but I've got to justify it with everything else out here. All the 3-story buildings and above are not safe. They don't have licensed contractors. All these other wild and crazy stories out here in there to justify the move. And again, that's not picking on her. She's a sweet lady. She's trying to figure it out. I appreciate her calling. If you call, I'll pick on you too. But I'm picking on me in the same thing, because I'll tell you, man, some of the dumbest butt stuff I've ever done is when I was facing bankruptcy. I got stuck in that, and I thought, there's no way out. There's nothing. I don't know what to do. And I lost so stinking much money. I made decades of income evaporate in single strokes of the pen, because I was desperate, stuck, and fixated. And the one that goes with that, also the sister to it, is greed. And when you get all fired up and you're like, oh, I'm gonna. But if the system is broken, and the millennial can't get ahead, then the millennial has to do something that's completely different.
Crazy shortcut.
Exactly.
To finally
I need a TikTok life hack, which is nothing down real estate and
velocity
crypto.
banking is what we all need, Dave.
Velocity. We need high speed stupidity. Stupidity on high speed. Stupidity on caffeinated stupidity.
That's what it takes in today's world, Dave.
Yeah.
But it's so true. Most of the calls on the show is someone saying, hey, I've got option A and option B, and they're both terrible. What do I do? And we say, hey, you ever thought about option C or D?
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
And it involves you instead of a shortcut?
It involves.
That's how you know.
Let me help you. No is a possible answer. No.
If it looks like a shortcut,
if the only car you can find that suits your needs is $25,000 and you're broke, answer's no. And it's a complete sentence. No. It's an interesting sound.
2 letters.
The silence that follows it is deafening. No. This is The Ramsey Show. Well, you've all played the telephone game. The first person whispers a message to the second person, who whispers it to the third, and so on around the table until the original message has completely changed. Multiply that confusion by 100 if you run a business with different software systems that don't talk to each other. That's why there's NetSuite by Oracle. In the early days of Ramsey, we were using different systems for all of our business units. We needed one single source for accurate data. NetSuite was the software we used to optimize and take us to the next level. NetSuite gave us the visibility into all of our numbers so that we could communicate across departments and plan ahead better. And as we grew, it scaled with us. NetSuite worked for Ramsey, and it will make a difference for your business too. Join the more than 34,000 customers who trust NetSuite to help make them smarter and make better decisions and level up their operations. To learn more, get a free product tour at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, and you can come visit anytime you'd like. We'd love to have you. On the debt-free stage, Jeff and Pam are joining us. Hi, guys. How are you?
Good.
Hi, Dave, we're better than we deserve.
I love it. Welcome. Where do y'all live?
We're outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Ah, cool. Good to have you. Welcome to Nashville. And how much debt have you paid off?
We paid off $200,000.
Yay! And how long did this take?
56 months.
Wow. And your range of income during that time?
Started at $132,000 and went to $154,000.
Cool. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm a nurse practitioner.
Mm-hmm.
And Dave, I'm a high school personal finance teacher.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. Helping the next generation avoid stupidity. Way to go, man. I love it. Thanks. Cool. So what kind of debt was the $200,000?
It was our mortgage.
You paid off your house. Now you get to tell your class. I love it.
Yeah.
Weird people.
Very weird.
No mortgage at all. What's this house worth?
About $500,000.
Yay! And how much in your nest egg in your retirement?
So retirement's probably like $300,000.
All right, bumping up on getting ready to be baby steps millionaires too.
Yeah.
Way to go, guys!
Yeah.
Congratulations. How old are you two?
37.
Oh man, paid for house and almost millionaires already. Look at you. I'm so proud of you. Good work. Good work. Tell us, how'd this story start?
So this story started about 13 years ago when we were dating.
Oh.
He got me your Total Money Makeover book.
Oh. So he's been this nerd all along.
He's been the nerd. I'm definitely the free spirit here. So I read that.
You're dating a personal finance professor in high school.
You know what's coming.
Shocking you get a personal finance book. Okay.
So I started paying off student loans. I had actually bought a new car out of college, so I was one of those.
Yeah.
Worked on paying all that off. We got married, and all the money we got from the wedding went to finish paying off my debt.
Whoa.
So we became debt-free once already.
Yay.
And then we ended up buying our home.
Mm-hmm.
We had our first daughter, Caroline.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up going through FPU class in 2017.
Yeah, so then I just got this bug for helping people with finances. So we actually came down here and met with you guys in 2018 for the Financial Coach Master Training.
Yeah.
And so I became a financial coach, and I've led FPU at my church and a couple other churches in our area. And at that point, I'm like, I can't get enough of this. And so I was already teaching something else and decided, all right, we got to change what's going on in our society. And so I went back and got some more education and became a personal finance teacher. And I think 5 years later, that's kind of where we are now.
Wow. Look at you. Way to go, man.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thanks for all the help. My goodness, that's powerful.
I mean, you guys really drank the Kool-Aid, and it worked out for
Yeah.
you. That's incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
So 56 months paying off this mortgage, were people cheering you on? Did they think it was weird? Did you keep it to yourselves?
I think it varies. If people ask us, we'd be happy to talk about it.
We actually had a chart. I made a chart with our house on it. I drew a picture of our house, and I colored in, and I had it hanging in our kitchen. So if people came over, they saw it hanging in the kitchen, and we would color off every $6,000, I think our mark was.
Yeah, what a great conversation starter. They're
Right.
like, did your
Yes.
kids draw that? You're like, no, I did.
but we did have some cheerleaders. My one buddy, Frank Nefis, he and I have led Personal Finance or Financial Peace University multiple times together. My parents are huge supporters of us. They actually introduced us to Dave Ramsey when I was 19. I remember looking at the Ben and Arthur chart of compound interest.
Wow.
This is generational.
And, it is. And that's kind of why we're doing this too. We have 2 kids under the age of 7. And, talk about, I'm going to get emotional here, but talking about changing family trees.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what our motivation was, at least my motivation was for all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And our kids hear it all the time. Our daughter's now in 2nd grade, but when she was in kindergarten, they had, if you were given $100, what would you do with it? And she said, I would save it. She wrote that on her paper, and everyone else was buying things,
they
but
have
she
it on
actually
the
wrote.
screen on YouTube.
They
That's
actually
so
did. I
great.
would save it.
I love it.
So they're used to it. They hear us talking about budgeting. We had a big goal after we paid off the house was to go to Disney World. So that's upcoming this fall.
Yay!
Nice.
So they knew that when Mommy and Daddy pay the house off, then we get to go to Disney World.
Yeah.
And we always joke that, if they had a friend that went to Disney World, that they're like, oh, their parents must have paid off their house to go to Disney World. So
That's amazing.
No, that's kind of just how we do it.
We're weird.
Disney should have such a program, but they don't. Yes. Probably limit the old lines on the rides.
Right. Absolutely.
Good for you guys. Well done, you guys. Very well done. All right, so the kiddos have been involved. You have changed your family tree. You're heroes. Proud of you.
Thanks.
Well done. All right, let's bring them up and introduce them. What are their names and ages?
All right, so we have Samuel. Samuel is 5.
Mm-hmm.
And we have Caroline. She's coming up now. And she is 7.
All right. And all grown up. I love it. Very well done. Good job, you guys. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is and almost being a millionaire by the time you're 37?
The budget, absolutely the budget, and not keeping up with the Joneses. The contentment. I follow Rachel Cruz. I've done all of that. That's huge, especially at our age, with our friends and seeing what they're doing.
Yeah, just being happy with what you have.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the nicest house. We have 10-year-old cars, and they work just fine. And we're just very content people.
Yeah, way to go, you guys. Way to go. Very proud of you. Very proud of you. Godliness with contentment is a great gain. Very good. Well done. Well, we got the we got the the Live and Give box for you, which includes the Baby Steps Millionaires book, which you almost are, but you'll be soon. Excellent. And Total Money Makeover book, you'll find somebody to give that to, and a Financial Peace University membership. And as lifetime coordinators, you've been doing it forever, you'll find somebody to help with that, I'm sure, as you coordinate more classes. Thanks for leading the classes and for being a coach and for being a teacher leading the stuff. My goodness, you're
like
everywhere,
a poster
man.
child.
Yeah,
Incredible.
Everything. You've taught it this stuff more than I have, I believe. Well done. Very well done, you guys. I'm very proud of you. All right, Jeff and Pam, Caroline and Samuel. Yeah, your house is paid off and everything.
And now we're going
You're
to Disney.
Officially weird people making you did paid off $200,000 in 56 months, making 132 to 154. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. We're debt free.
Yeah! The kids have done it. The kids have done it. They'll remember it now.
Well, it's going to be on YouTube forever. So when they're grown adults, they'll be scrolling back to the debt-free scream their parents did.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I was 6, I went over to that Ramsey place, man. My parents paid off the house.
That'd be pretty cool.
I feel like it'd be hard for them to now live a life of debt after this experience, seeing what their parents did, changing the family tree. You got to hope they don't run the other way.
Yeah.
Like a prodigal son.
It can happen, but yeah, you can have a prodigal show up, but the way you change your family tree. What's interesting is the thing I love about that idea is that Proverbs 22:7 says, "The rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender." The verse before that is 22:6, and it says, "Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it." And if you take the numbers out, it just says, "Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he'll not depart from it. The rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender." Train your child that.
Wow. That's
we
an
always
interesting
separate
connection.
those two and teach one's a parenting thing and one's a money thing, but it sounds like you're teaching your kids to stay out of debt to me.
That's a continued thought.
What do I know? But we'll see. Wow. We'll have to talk about that in heaven and make sure I got that right. But the theologians out there everywhere are questioning my use of Proverbs, but there we go. Yeah, it's always happened since I started. There we go. You guys are very cool. That was a very neat the emotion in his voice. He's teaching kids in high school. He taught the class in his church.
Totally
Financial
bought in.
Peace University coordinator, became a Ramsey coach. The whole, like you said, drank the Kool-Aid, but that's all because this stuff matters to him.
Yeah. Well, and his parents at 19 was like, "Hey, you got to check out this Ramsey stuff." And so introducing that early on got him on this path, and now he's going to train up his kids this way, and the kids are going to train up their kids that way.
You know what? So what we're saying is if you can get your 19-year-old to not be stupid, it helps your grandkids in the future.
If nothing else, do it for the grandkids.
Do it for the grandkids that aren't here yet. Yeah, teach your kids so that your grandkids can have some sense. There's an idea.
Yep. Well, how many people call in and say, "Dave, I wish I knew this stuff when I was in my 20s and 30s, man. I did some dumb stuff."
Yeah.
Well, you can, if you're a parent out there, you have a chance at redemption here.
Yeah, for sure. And we've got
beautiful.
if you want to teach little kids, we've got all that Financial Peace Junior.
Yeah, they got the new
the brand new kit.
saving bank.
It is incredible. It's incredible.
I want to get one for my little girl, Dave. She's a month old, but you better believe she's already saving her money.
Now, I know you'll be sending her to the salt mines. This is the Ramsey Show. Hey, if you're in over your head with student loans and tired of getting calls from collection agencies, if private student loan debt is taking away your financial peace and you don't see any way out, you need Y-Refi. They're not a debt settlement company, and they're not connected to a bank. Y-Refi refinances defaulted private student loans that other places won't touch and gives you a custom loan built for you based on your ability to pay. So when you refinance your private student loan debt with Y-Refi, you'll have a payment you can afford with a low fixed interest rate you couldn't get anywhere else. to help you stick to your budget and work the debt snowball. And you can save thousands of dollars. To learn more about this custom refinancing option and a lump sum payoff option you could qualify for after 24 months, call 844-2-RAMSEY or go to yrefi.com/Ramsey. George Campbell, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Kathy is with us in Columbus, Ohio. Hi, Kathy. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi there.
Hey, what's up?
Well, my question is, I'm about $43,000 in debt right now from student loans with little income, and I'm just wondering what my next steps are.
Okay. $42,000 in student loan debt. What is your income?
Right now, I'm estimating, I'm a bartender, so I get a lot of mixed tips, but I estimate about $2,800 a month.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you're making a little over $30,000 a year. How old are you?
I'm 22.
And what's your degree in?
Well, I'm only 2 years into it, but it's music education.
Okay. And are you still going to school?
At the moment, no, because $15,000 of that $43,000 that I'm in debt is with the school itself. And my credit score is not great, and I can't find a loan to cover my last semester, which is that $15,000. So they won't even enroll me back into school until that $15,000 is paid off.
Okay, you only lack one semester graduating.
I actually have about 3 more years to go.
Okay, all right. So signing up for more of this fun doesn't sound fun, does it?
Not really.
So, okay.
Is this all the debt you have?
Yeah, currently. Just the student loans.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you, it sounds like you're saying you need a new career plan.
Well, that could maybe solve the financial problems. It just would stink. That's just what I've always wanted to do, is teach music.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's a way around it, I would love to jump onto it. But if that's what I got to do, I got to do what I got to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, there's, so you're a musician, I assume?
Correct.
Okay. And what is your specialty?
I sing for school.
Okay. All right. So voice.
Right.
Okay. Good. All right. Okay. Unless you were teaching in a high school setting, a degree, I mean, there's no degree required to give voice lessons as an independent person. You know that, right?
Correct.
Okay. So the only way you would have to have a degree requirement is if you were going into a classroom setting of some kind. But anything that was private or one-off, you certainly could start doing at this moment, because you obviously have a great voice, and you have a passion for teaching people to sing. That's wonderful.
Right.
That's wonderful. Okay. So, all right. So I'll just put my muddy boots on and walk all in your dream for a minute. Already am. So let me walk around some more. Okay.
Go for it.
All right. So your dream of spending $100,000 or more, $150,000 total when you're all said and done, probably, to get a degree to teach music in high school and make $40,000 or $50,000 a year, doesn't have a good return on investment. It's a bad choice mathematically. So, since our dream process is becoming a nightmare, I'm going to suggest we live the dream in such a way that it becomes not a nightmare. And that's what I was starting to do there. I was starting to mess with your way of implementing your passions and your skills. Okay? And this is what Ken Coleman, that works here as a Ramsey Personality, does every day on his show. He helps people align with their passions and their skills and point them in the direction a practical application of that is not necessarily involves a 4-year degree. In your case, you can't afford a 4-year degree right now, and you're trapped as a bartender with a great voice right now. So we need a different plan. It's what I think, just looking at it as your ugly uncle that loves you, okay? And so your old ugly uncle that loves you and tells you the truth says, we need a different plan than classroom teaching, because it's not worth the money you will spend for the money versus the money you will make in order to be able to teach voice in a classroom setting. Now, later on, when you're making some serious money, but I'll give you a crazy example, okay? I had a friend, I'm in Nashville. Everybody in Nashville is a musician, okay? But this lady was a fabulous concert-level pianist, okay? Fabulous. Mm-hmm. And you're in Nashville. And so, I mean, you're studio, or you're on the road, or you're unemployed. Those are your 3 options when you're doing that, okay, in this town.
Right.
Yeah, and she didn't want to be on the road. Studio stuff was hard to break into, but she was fabulous. She ended up building a large, I'm talking like 18 teachers working for her, piano lessons company. I don't know what you call that. I don't know. But people, she rented a building in a warehouse district and filled it up with pianos. Wow. The piano place would put them in there on a deal so the kids would get hooked on their brand, right? And they come in there and mom and dad drop them off for piano lessons. And she was a huge, but absolutely 0 degree required. I don't even know if the lady had a degree, but I've seen her play, and I knew her. I mean, she's a good personal friend, and she built this a nice sized business. She was making a whole lot more than the teacher at the high school. I can promise you that. Okay, right. Teaching all these children and adults piano lessons. I don't know why you couldn't do something like that as your dream, and not be $150,000 in debt for the opportunity. And it starts with you starting, finding a couple people that need voice lessons in your town and just queue them up and help them. In the meantime, probably thinking about what I can do as a side job or a different, better job to go make some dadgum money, get the student loan paid off. Because I don't want you 32 years old trapped in a bar still waiting on this dream.
Right.
That's what I'm worried about.
I don't want to be here.
In the meantime, could you get a better job bartending at a higher-end restaurant, for example, and double your income doing that?
Well, I actually just did that. So the income that I gave you is my estimated new income as of this week that I just started a new, more higher-end kind of job.
Okay. That still feels low for a higher-end bartender making $30,000. I mean, some of these are making 6 figures or more.
Yeah.
So that I would at least look into, hey, what do I need to work overtime right now? Do I need to do those vocal lessons on the side? But right now, we got an income problem. Let's clean up the debt and let's chase that dream later on down the road.
Yeah, the answer to your question that you called about is how do I pay off my student loans? You have to, anytime you have a debt, you have to look at the 2 pieces you gave us, the income that you have versus the debt that you have. And we call that the shovel to hole ratio around here. How big a shovel, your income, do you have to get out of the hole, the debt? And so if you call me up and you have a $400,000 income, big shovel, but you got $300,000 worth of debt, well, you got big debt, big shovel. You're good. It's not a fun place, but it's a ratio you can deal with. Your problem is you're upside down. You got small shovel and medium-sized debt. And so the reason this whole discussion unfolded was we were trying to think with you how we can help you get your shovel bigger, your income bigger, to knock the debt out right quick. And then let's move with our whole career movement and how we can pull this off and either start and run a business or, again, I don't know what the voice scene, the vocal scene is in Columbus, Ohio. I don't know anything about it, but I'm going to start working in that area and trying to figure out ways to use my talent and get paid. Because if you can sing to the level that you can teach others, then you can sing to the level you can make money with your voice. And
yeah, and I had a similar amount of debt. I had $36,000 in student loans, and at the time I had an entry-level salary, and I was like, well, I can't just go double my income at the company, so I can go out, and I started making websites. I did music gigs. I was licensing my songs through websites. I was doing Uber, Lyft. I was doing it all, and all of that combined gave me the margin to tackle this debt in 18 months. And so it may seem like insignificant at the time, but all that little stuff adds up if you're willing to do it.
You just worked your tail end off.
Exactly.
Literally. Yeah, I mean, that's just...
It's not going to happen doing 35 hours a week bartending.
No, you're going to have to go crazy for a short period of time. And, you know, I don't think I'd sign back up for the deal you were signed up for. I want to change your direction. Hang on, I'm going to send you a copy of Ken Coleman's book, Paycheck to Purpose. And also I'm going to send you the assessment that he has on helping you pick out your career track. So I want to live your dream with you, not your nightmare. This is The Ramsey Show. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. He is also the co-host of Smart Money Happy Hour and the host of the very popular new Ramsey Networks production called The George Camel Show on YouTube. Camel with a K. Be sure and check it out. Lots of good stuff going on there. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Bethany is in Philadelphia. Hi, Bethany. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I really appreciate your time and your wisdom.
Sure. What's up?
Well, first I wanted to say thank you for the opportunity to talk with you both. George, I think Mia Jane is the most beautiful girl in the whole wide world.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And Dave, I have on my bucket list to have dinner with you and Sharon someday. So I'm not sure if that's true for on this side of heaven, but in heaven, we will probably have a great time.
Yeah, we'll pull up to a feast for sure. How can we help today?
Absolutely. So my biggest question is, I'm wondering if I'm resuscitating a corpse in my family business, if it's something that I can keep
That's
going
metaphorical,
on.
Right? Just want to make sure.
Exactly. Or
you never know.
Am I doing a good job? So for the most part, my parents retired early and decided to start a coffee roasting business in 2005. My dad suddenly passed away in 2019, and I was given the opportunity to keep it going.
Okay.
So I left my full-time job, and thankfully my dad taught me everything about roasting coffee already.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that this was what God prepared me to do, but I'm desperate to know, am I really doing a good job, or...
Are you making money?
I am. So...
Okay. How much money are you making?
So in 2020, my net profit was $7,000. In 2021, my net profit was $7,000. But in 2022, my net profit was $28,500. And then so far this year, my net profit is $52,000.
What'd you do different that caused this spike?
I'm busting my rear end. So I'm working 24/7. I know you say it's a treadmill.
Well, you're selling. You're selling coffee more. How are you selling more coffee?
I am in two different farmers markets. I'm in 30 different wholesale
that you weren't in when you made 7.
Right.
So you've created distribution, and you're doing some kind of marketing because they're buying it.
Yes, and that is my degree is in marketing.
Good, because you need to sell some coffee.
I do.
How big is the team? Is it just you? Do you have People working for you? Is it family?
So I took over right before COVID and then had to let 5 people go during COVID. So it's just myself and my husband, who retired from construction because we're dealing with cancer number 2.
Who's we?
John, my husband.
Your husband has got cancer?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
For the second time?
Yeah, for the second time.
Oh, my gosh.
Sorry.
So thank you.
All right. So,
we've got
yeah, you are. I mean, this is an Entree Leadership call. For those of you who don't know, I do a podcast called Entree Leadership, and I had a #1 best-selling book by the same title on how to run a business. And there are 5 stages in business. What she was referring to is the first stage is the treadmill operator, where you're by yourself. All of the revenue and production's dependent on you. To level up and move to the next stage of business, you've got to get it to where all the revenue and the production is not dependent on you, and that is your next move. You got to level up on that. So, if you are, you have reason for hope.
Okay.
I mean, because the numbers are giving you reason for hope. Agreed?
I totally agree, but I want to make sure that I'm not just. This is not a facade in my brain.
Well, if the 52,000 is not there, then it's a facade. But if you got 52,000 versus 28 versus 7, that's called a trend.
Okay.
And so I mean, that's kind of exciting. I mean, if you can keep that hockey stick up into the right movement going, you're at 500K in 20 minutes the way we're going. I mean, this is. You got, and you do need to get to 500. I mean, this is not, it's not fun at the level you're at. All you do is work right now.
No.
You smell like coffee all the time. You smell coffee all the time. Everything's about coffee. You're sick of coffee right now.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been there, not with coffee, but with, the smell of paper books, right? Same crap.
Right.
So, anyway. Yeah. So you got to get the next thing. We need to start talking about who we can add to get the production off of you and how that increases profit because you're out there selling more, and then who we can add that's out there moving the product into some of these distribution outlets called a salesperson, and the position of revenue justify itself very quickly. But where you where you would say, I'm not resuscitating, I'm not in a facade, I'm not in self-denial, is where we're making very solid, wise steps to gently grow this business and get it all off of your back.
Okay.
You need to do that for the sake of the business. You need to do that because you're fighting cancer inside your house, and that takes a lot of energy.
Right. Yeah, it does.
And and it's okay, by the way, if you say, we're going to fight cancer, we're closing Coffee Bean down, and I'm going to go get a job that I don't have to think about all this crap, and I can just love my husband while we're fighting cancer. That'd be an okay move. But that really wouldn't be because the business failed. It would be because you don't have the extra energy to do both things right now.
Right.
And
it's a little tough.
Yeah, I'll give you permission to do either one.
Okay.
Give yourself permission to do either one. You're not a bad person either way. And your dad didn't leave this to you to trap you. He left this to you to be a blessing. At the point it ceases being a blessing, it's no longer from your dad.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. I told our kids around here, every time we have our Dave Dies This Year meeting, where we go over everything y'all are going to do around here if I die this year, I tell them every time we are together, I tell the leaders, do not keep a business unit, a business concept alive under the name of Dave always wanted to do. No, bull crap. Dave's gone.
Okay.
So that you got to release from that. But you're a good lady. You got a lot on your plate. And I think you got a business that'll work here if you have the bandwidth to do that and fight cancer. And I don't know if I would, but that's your and John's choice. So hang on, we'll send you a copy of the book Entree Leadership, and God bless you, darling. You're tough. You're a warrior. This is the Ramsey Show. George Camel, Ramsey Personalities, my co-host. David is in Chattanooga. Hi, David. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Dave. Hey, George. Good to talk to you today.
You too. How can we help, sir?
Well, I'm hoping you can help me here with something. I'm a renter. I have zero debt. My retirement account is a TSP with about $40,000. My company kicks in or matches about 4.5. I contribute 16%. I make about $125 a year. I have $200,000 sitting in the bank doing nothing, and I'd like to get a house with some property. And I'm just checking in with you to see what would you do if you were me.
It sounds like you're ready to be a homeowner. You've done really well, man. What's stopping you from using a large chunk of that $200 as a down payment?
I'm a terrible procrastinator, I think.
So we're 49, we're renting still, you're in Chattanooga. Have you started to look at properties in that area to see something reasonable in your price range and your budget?
Nothing, just other than glancing at the internet. Mm-hmm. But I have not seriously begun looking.
Okay. Generally, when I procrastinate on something, it means with me, I don't know about you, but with me, it means I'm either distracted with other things that are better, or I'm afraid of facing that thing.
Yes, probably the latter.
Okay. What is it you're afraid of? Do you know?
Just spending a chunk of money and going into debt.
Making a mistake.
Right.
Afraid of making a mistake. Because it's a huge, it took forever to get the $200K. And screwing that up would just devastate you. That's how I would be if I were in your shoes. Does that sound right?
Yeah, it actually didn't take too long. I've just been working nonstop.
Mm-hmm. How long did it take?
For the last 4. About 5 years.
Okay, so let's say if you saved up 205 years, let's say you had a $200,000 mortgage. Could you pay it off in 5 years?
Yes.
There we go.
Okay, so you got a $400,000 budget then.
You make $125, you have a great income. And so what's stopping you from putting a huge down payment, as big as you can go, keep an emergency fund aside in that savings account. But outside of that, let's put that money down on the house. Let's get aggressive at the mortgage and pay this thing off in our early 50s and retire with dignity and money in the bank.
You said something about a piece of land.
Mm-hmm.
You want a little space?
Yeah, I want some elbow room.
Yeah. What are you renting now?
I'm in a pretty good spot. It's nice and quiet. I pay $700.
Okay. Well, the other thing that's causing you to procrastinate is you're a cheapskate and you don't want to spend money.
Is that a fair assessment?
You're my kind of people, man.
It doesn't sound like you have any lavish hobbies.
I like to get value for my money.
That's frugal. That's what we'll say instead of cheapskate. Cheapskate coming from me is love language. Don't take it wrong. All right, so you just don't want to spend the money. You got $750 rent, my God, and you got a place you already like. If you could buy that place for $750 a month, you'd already bought it, right?
Well, like I said, I'm not. I'd like to get out where there's some wide open space.
Oh, a little more even than you got now. Okay.
Yes, I'm in a little town here, so
yeah,
it's just city streets and sidewalks. But
you're not. You don't have elbow room where you are then. Okay. All right. So, dude, just jump on the dadgum internet and pull up like Real Tracks or something and start looking at property that's for sale. I do it all the time, and I'm not even looking for anything. I'm just like looking at real estate.
And I think you need someone in your corner to help move this along because you've been procrastinating. And so I would also jump on RamseySolutions.com, get in touch with one of our Ramsey trusted real estate pros.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
They'll start going, hey, David, here's 7 properties based on everything you told me that are in your price range.
Yeah.
I think we need someone else to help us get a little more excited and on fire about this move.
I mean, you're not going to find something if you're not looking.
Gotcha.
So start poking around. It doesn't cost anything to look. And then when you find something, you're not in a rush. You don't have to buy something stupid just to buy something. There's no false urgency here. But dude, you do not need to be 59 and still not own a house and have $500,000 in the bank. So your current trajectory needs to change. Agreed?
I agree.
Yeah,
hey, let me get your input on this TSP, this Thrift Savings Plan.
So you're a federal employee.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you do?
I work for a utility.
TVA?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. And so TSP's fine. I mean, we worked with federal employees for years. We always put 80% into the C, 20% in S, and 20% and 10% into S and 10% into I. That's what I always do when I'm doing with TSP. The C plan's done really well. The others they're not great, but they're doing good. And that gives you good diversification. And you've got the match. And just crank that puppy up. But I would crank it back down to only 15% that you're putting in 16, you said. I'd crank it back down to 15. And I throw the rest of it at this house till you get the house paid off. But the land and house, the elbow room place. But dude, where you live is some of the most beautiful country in the world. I mean, you can get a piece of ground out there with some Tennessee trees on it. Oh, man. Dude, I mean, you ought to be able, because you're willing to live outside of Chattanooga a ways. A lot of TVA stuff going on, small town outside of Chattanooga. I got an idea what we're dealing with. And so, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you're in good shape. And, but yeah, find you, what you're saying is the land, and you need to tell the real estate agent, the Ramsey trusted real estate agent, when you call them, that the land is the most important part for you. The housing is the second most important part. Because some people want a house with some land. You want a land with a house. And, yes, you need to you're right, George. And the thing about them shoveling stuff at you is they're not going to pressure you into buying something you don't want or need, but they are a great source of information. And agents run into stuff that's not yet listed.
Yeah, some off-market
deals. They can call you up and go, hey, Farmer John over there, he's got a place. And dude,
well, now is a really good time if you've got some money to be getting into real estate.
Absolutely a great time to buy.
You could even maybe get one of those things called a deal. Hasn't been seen in a while.
I hadn't heard of those.
Because everyone's spooked by the interest rates, but
that's a
David's
weird,
out here with $200K.
Don't use the word deal around real estate. That's a weird word. But yeah,
that's what David needs, that to feel like that he can justify this purchase.
Yeah,
he
sure,
can
right.
feel like he got a deal. He's like, I've been frugal. Got 5% off.
Got to get value for my money. There you go. Dude, go buy something. Give yourself a timeline. I'm going to look aggressively until I find the right thing within 18 months. Or some number, I don't care. But don't just kick the can down the road, do nothing, and look up with a bigger pile of money and no real estate. You want to be in the real estate game as a long-term part of your life and your portfolio because it goes up in value, because it's the largest line item. That $750 rent's not going to be $750 rent forever. About the only thing you can count on with rent is it goes up every year. So 100% of the time, 10 years from now, rent's higher. And real estate values are higher. 100%. That's a pretty good chance. And your payment's not higher because you took a fixed rate 15-year where the payment's no more than a fourth of your take-home pay, and you'll have it paid off before 10 years gets here, the way we're talking about. So you got a good plan here, but you need to execute. You need to get up off your tail end and go get something.
Similar to those who have those low mortgage interest rates, he's got this low rent that it's so hhard to let go. He doesn't want to have a higher payment, but he's also going to be a homeowner with an appreciating asset.
Well, and pay it off in a short period of time. It gives you a reason to work a little more.
You can tell he's going to want that debt out of his life fast.
Oh, good. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. This is The Ramsey Show. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. A couple things happening here around Ramsey. One, we launched a podcast today called Real Estate the Ramsey Way. Brand new podcast on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, the Ramsey Network app, wherever it is you get your podcast. And what it is the best of real estate calls from this show in a whole series that we developed into a podcast. So if you want specific real estate stuff curated for you, jump it on there, check it out, Real Estate the Ramsey Way. Second thing is, 1 week from tomorrow, for most of you, October the 3rd is the launch date for the brand new Dr. John Deloney book. Those of you that ordered one already, it will be shipped to where it lands at your place sometime right around then. It's called Building a Non-Anxious Life. We live in a very anxious world, anxiety-ridden world, and there is a way to build a life to deal with a lot of that. And Dr. John has laid that out with the 6 daily choices to help you do that. It is a powerful book. Very proud of this book. It will be, we've already sold a bazillion of them. It will come out as a #1 bestseller, I'm sure, based on the numbers anyway. It's just crazy. So unless somebody just has an unbelievable blockbuster the same week and beats us out. But this thing's gone bananas. It's very popular. So $20 book. But if you pre-order it before launch date and before October the 3rd, you'll get $75 in free bonus items, including the audio book and the ebook. So we're going to bribe you to buy it early. That's what it amounts to. So, because it helps with the marketing, it helps us get all the numbers up, and that's perfect for us. We love being generous. So, Building a Non-Anxious Life, Dr. John Deloney. You can get that at RamseySolutions.com in the store. On the debt-free stage, right outside my window, right here in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, Brad is with us. Hey, Brad, how are you?
Doing good today.
Welcome. Good to have you. Where do you live?
Eastern Iowa, just north of Davenport, Iowa.
Okay.
20 miles.
Yeah, fun. Welcome to Nashville. How much debt have you paid off?
$104,000.
I love it. How long did that take?
2 years, 8 months, 8 days, almost to the hour.
I love it. Very cool. And what was your range of income during that 2 years, 8 months, and 8 days?
105, 110.
Cool. What do you do for a living?
So I've been into trades all my life. I was a journeyman sheet metal worker, stainless steel welder, and now I've taken some of those support skills and I work for a commercial roofer.
Oh, wow. Very good. Okay. Yeah, and doing well. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good work. So what kind of debt was the $104,000?
It was my home. Pretty simple.
Look at you with a paid-for house. A weird guy. Welcome, man. Good to have you. Good stuff. What's this house worth?
So it's not a big number. It's only $155,000.
But yours?
It's all mine.
Yeah. Nobody else getting that.
Nope.
It's got 0 payments. That's the only number we care about.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Yeah, we've done detailed research. 100% of the foreclosures occur on a home with a mortgage. So, yeah, there you go, man. Good stuff. Well done, man. How's it feel to be free?
So it feels awesome. But one thing that when I went to make my final payment, I was a little disappointed because there was no fanfare or party at the bank.
No confetti.
And you expected some, huh?
I thought maybe they'd be a little excited too.
Yeah,
they didn't care.
They're kind of disappointed, actually. They like seeing you around there. Oh my gosh, that's so fun. Good for you. Yeah, a buddy of mine, this country music guy around here, wrote a hit song, and when it hit, he had a farm at Farm Bureau at the Farm Bank. What do you call it? Farmer's Credit. And he went over and paid it off, and they said, "We'll see you." And he said, "No, you won't. You'll never see me again. I'm gone." Good for you, man. Congratulations. I love it. Well done. So what started you on this journey 2 years and 8 months ago?
So it started way before that. I've known about you for many, many years, and I was married, and I got divorced 4 years ago, actually today, 4 years ago today, after 37 years.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I thought, this is my opportunity to see if this stuff really works like I believe it will. It works.
Yeah.
It works. So I had nobody to answer to but myself.
Nobody you had to convince anymore, yeah?
No.
Well, I'm sorry for that, but I'm happy you did it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done.
Wow. So 2 years after that, you decided, I'm going to pay off this house. Did you just have the mortgage at that point, no other debt, and you went, I don't need this thing hanging around anymore like a pet?
Yeah. So when I got divorced, I didn't have any debt, and walked away with a little bit of cash. And took your guys' advice, just wait a year at least till you do anything. I only waited about 8 months, but it was hard to pull the trigger to let the cash go for the down payment. And then I knew I did the 15-year. I knew I wanted to pay it off early, so that first, not the first week after, but the week after that, I started making an extra $25 a week extra payment. I went back into my budget that first month. I thought, well, I can squeeze out hundreds of dollars every week. And I had it down to where it was going to be about 5.5 years. And I did FPU beginning of last year, and I talked to my coordinator, Teresa Hart, outside of class, and because I was funding my 401k and IRA full 100%, and not doing it the Ramsey way. And I asked her, is that the right thing to do at my age? And she asked me one question. She said, why would you want that debt? I said, well, I'm going to run some numbers in. And then I got it down to where I could have it paid off in about 3.5 years. And I just kept squeezing the budget and got it down to 2 years and 8 months. And
wow.
You were living on nothing. I mean, you were throwing $50K a year at this thing.
Yeah. I was putting 65 to 80% of my monthly take-home pay to this mortgage.
Wow.
To get it done. I mean, there's some weeks I take $50 for groceries, and the rest of it went to the mortgage.
Now that you're free, was it worth it?
Oh yeah, in spades.
Do it again, huh?
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to do it again.
No, I said you would. You would if you had to. Yeah. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm good with this house. Yeah. I paid for a house, by the way. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Very
so
cool.
there's two other people I'd like to thank also while I'm up here, and one is Tammy. She's a good friend, and when I would start to put these numbers together and start squeezing things down, she was the one I would bounce things off of to make sure I wasn't forgetting something, make sure I was on the right track, and she was a good friend. And then there's Becky. She was actually my real estate agent when I bought the house and became a good friend, and she'd check in every once in a while just to make sure I was
eating.
on track.
Make sure you were eating.
Yeah, she did that too.
Yeah, he quit eating, but he got out of debt.
Yeah. So,
way to go, man. Yeah. Well, it sounds like you got some good people in your corner encouraging you. You got to have that. You got to have cheerleaders and people you trust that you trust love you enough to tell you the truth.
Yep.
And that's handy. So a good FPU coordinator. Yep. Good stuff. Very good stuff, man. So what's the next big thing?
Going to start doing some work on the house.
There you go.
I put a lot of stuff on hold, and something broke or whatever. Can I patch this together? Can I do it myself or whatever? And I need to go back through and just start updating some things. So.
Okay. Yeah, you'll have a whole new place in a year or two then.
I hope so.
No payments in the world, making 100 and something thousand. Yeah. That's a pretty cool place to be.
Yep.
How old are you?
59.
Yeah, so you're ready to go. Yep. Way to go, man.
Thank you.
So proud of you. That's good stuff. Very well done. Hey, we've got the Live and Give bundle for you. This is Baby Steps Millionaires book, which is your next stop. And, of course, the Total Money Makeover book and a Financial Peace University membership. And I'm sure you got good use for all of that with all these people in your life. So congratulations. I'm proud of you. Good bounce back for you.
Thank you.
Gave you a good goal, and you turned it around beautifully. Very, very well done. All right, it's Brad in Davenport, Iowa area. $104,000 paid off in 2 years and 8 months, house and everything, making 105 to 110. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. I'm debt-free!
Yeah! Woo-hoo-hoo! I love it. This is the Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Proverbs 15:22. Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. The version I like is, in the multitude of counsel, there is safety. Theodore Roosevelt said, the only man who never makes mistakes is the man who never does anything. That's true. I like the other one, Henry. I'm just keep adding to these today, but Henry Ford said, those who never make mistakes work for those of us that do.
Ooh, I like that.
That's a good one. That one's very good. Very cool stuff. So, George, you have a blow up on freaking car payment video on YouTube. It's like gone viral.
It hit a nerve.
Yeah, I mean, like 500,000 views almost immediately. And all. What are you doing? You're just saying the
same thing you've been saying, Dave. I said it more interestingly, I guess.
That's true. You did
Just
do that.
kidding.
But yeah. So what did you say about car payments?
Well, we walk through the numbers. You know, I like to look at the research and the facts, and I talk about the fact that auto loans have now surpassed student loan debt as far as consumer debt goes, which blew my mind.
1.7 trillion.
Yep,
Yeah.
and there's 108 million auto loans out there in the U.S. alone.
Okay.
And there's not that many more adults in the U.S., which tells you most people have a car
What was
payment.
the shocking thing that made it go viral?
Well, we've walked through the idea that if you invested that car payment, it could turn into millions of dollars. We talk about the idea that you're paying for this depreciating asset every month, and by the time you're done paying for it, that $40,000 car you paid $50,000 for, and it's worth $16,000.
Best.
And
That'd be a
not
good
only,
day.
and here's the craziest part, Dave. It had the least amount of hatred of any of the videos we've ever done. 3,300 comments.
Wow. And people from the car business.
They started jumping in here too.
Positively.
Yeah. This is crazy. One guy said, I've been in the car business for 49 years. He said, we joke out loud. It's not a car, it's a debt system. Cars have financed my life all these years. Your advice is 100% right on.
I'm a finance manager at a car dealership. You're spot on. I see people making payments that are 40 or 50% of their paycheck just for status. I drive a Nissan Kicks that I paid $20,000 for, even though I can afford much more. This is the finance manager at the Nissan.
Wow.
dealership. Or
That's
he didn't
very
say
telling.
Nissan dealership. Yeah. Whoa.
This is wild. And all these folks, and I worked in the automotive industry for decades, did detailed consumer demographic research. The disturbing truth is the auto industry is addicted to the consumers you're describing. People lease or buy more than they can afford. They replace the vehicles sooner than they need to. And this industry enables this by refinancing negative equity on traded vehicles. We get those calls all the time. We go, how are you that underwater? Well, I rolled over the negative equity, and they're offering all the 0% financing, which is paid for, by the way, by them increasing the transaction price. It's not a generous gift from the dealership. And so they're saying...
So where do they find your YouTube video? Oh, YouTube, I guess.
You can just search George Camel on YouTube. The video is called Why Is No One Talking About America's Wealth Killer?
Is it on the George Camel Show?
It's on the George Camel Show. That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
So this was a video that the team put together. It's 10 minutes long. And of course, it's filled with snark and memes and research and humor and all that fun stuff. But I just wanted to make one video to go, hey, if someone calls in and they go, why shouldn't I finance my car? I can just send them this link and go, here's why.
There you go.
Go watch this 10-minute video.
Kevin is in Irvine, California. Oh, that's not Kevin. I pushed the wrong button. That's Kevin. Hi, Kevin. How are you?
George, I am 1 month ahead of you on the fatherhood train.
Oh, congratulations. I'm a parenting expert now, so let me know if you need any advice.
Cool.
1 month into this.
I've got twice as much experience as you do.
That's
dude.
right. Oh, that's perfect. Thanks for calling in, man.
How can we help?
So, related to being a father, I was just talking to our SmartVestor Pro about opening a 529 plan. And I said, what's the yearly limit of what I can put in? He said, there isn't a yearly limit. I'm like, oh, well, I don't want to put in too much because what if our kid doesn't end up going to college? And he said, well, with the new rules, you can roll whatever isn't used for college right into your Roth IRA. And then I said, hang on, then why would I ever invest in anything except for the 529 if it's essentially a Roth IRA with no limits that I can get to early for educational purposes?
It does have limits. It does have limits on what you can roll to the Roth.
It's $35,000.
And you can't do it till the kid is 30.
I was missing.
Yeah.
You
So
can't
there's some
the detail
stipulations.
I was missing.
Yeah, there's all kinds of restrictions on the rollover that make it not that good a deal. Yeah, and you can do it. You can do it, but there's restrictions on it. And no, I would not overfund your 529. Today's world, I would underfund your 529.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because
that was my big
you
question.
probably are going to have other wealth, especially if you're following us, that you could pay cash for whatever they want to do for education. And,
we're talking about a 2-month-old, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The higher ed landscape is going to change so much in the next 18 years as the student loan epic failure debacle unfolds and pops this bubble. They have been overcharging for too long, and it's come home to roost, and people are not going to college in record numbers, and that's going to drive the demand. The lack of demand is going to drive the price down, and particularly for stupid degrees and that kind of stuff, which your kid wouldn't get, Kevin. But anyway, so all of this to say the landscape's going to change dramatically on how we acquire knowledge in the coming 20 years. I'm not saying colleges are going away or going to become unimportant. They're just going to become less important, and they need to become less important. They've gotten out of control.
So, do you have some sort of guideline as to how much I should put into it then? Because my hope is to fund a bunch of it up front so that way it can grow a lot in the next 18 years.
Yeah, I'd probably throw, if you want to get really aggressive right now, throw $10,000 in for a couple of years. That'll probably put you up around 100, 120 when it's done, if you never added anything to it. And talk to your SmartVestor Pro, run some calculations on it. But if you pop $10,000 in 2 years in a row or something, you're probably done. And then other than that, just go become wealthy, and it gives you other options for what you want to do with the kid.
Cool.
Yeah,
well,
you're going to be self-insured
and an everyday millionaire. So
awesome.
Yeah, you're going to be, you're going to be in good shape.
So I already put 15,000 in. So you're saying just drop in another 5 and then call it good for the time being, correct?
Yeah. And you
cool.
then just watch what happens and see how it unfolds, and calculate what 20 would become in 18 years. I'm guessing it probably 140 or something like that. And that's going to be more than enough for whatever. And you can supplement. You'll be able to supplement from there, and they may get scholarships, or they may decide to do coding. And for $10,000 was what it costs right now to get a certification in coding, and you can make $100,000. So why you go spend $500,000 for a $38,000 job anymore is crazy. So you wouldn't. So anyway. Not against higher education. I'm just saying that the landscape is going to change. There's too much market pressure for it to do otherwise. So good question. Congratulations on the new baby.
It's exciting.
Yeah, that's fun. So, what are you going to do with old Mia's at 529? Have you disclosing this yet?
We're going to, my parents have already generously offered to start it with the starter money.
Fun.
So they're putting the seed money in there instead of a normal gift. We got too much crap already around the house for this baby. It's amazing how much stuff a baby can accumulate with just gifts.
You need a minimalist baby.
So I'm like, give us money instead. This girl's going to be doing it right. And again, like you're mentioning, we can cash flow the difference. If she happens, to go to an expensive school and that's her dream, and we've got the money, she's going to go to that school, Dave. Because like you said, she's got me wrapped around her finger already.
No, definitely.
She wants a horse. She's getting a horse, Dave. Just kidding. I have my boundaries.
She's a week old, yeah.
You know how I feel about horses. We're having a good time.
Even George would get over.
Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Oh, yeah, I'm just saying. You're going to get yourself in deeper stuff here. So, hey, guys, holiday season's coming up. I need to remind you that we're doing something special. There's no reason for you to be in debt. Why don't you not go in debt for Christmas? And start thinking about that now. So you did that on purpose? Because they announced this year Christmas is in December. It shouldn't be a surprise. So it doesn't sneak up on you or anything.
They tell us the date yet? The exact number?
I mean, I know you got the skeletons out front of your house right now and the pumpkins, and we're talking about Christmas, but I'm not talking about Christmas. I'm talking about you not going in debt for Christmas. So jump on to everydollar.com. They gave me a slash. Everydollar.com/Dave. I've been wanting a slash.
About time you got your own website.
Yeah. And now it's $65 for every dollar for an entire year, Every Dollar Premium, and that connects to your bank. And you can do the free version anytime you want, but this is the premium version for only $65. You can start right now, and if you're on the Every Dollar app, you can do Christmas without debt. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, it's George Camel. If you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click on the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.